What is up, everybody? TC here with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com, and today I'm joined by the very incredible Reuben Bolieu. And he is an incredible outdoorsman, a writer,
Yes, sir.
article writer, an adventurist, and he's been one of our instructors here at Randall's Adventure and Training, put on by the guys with SE Knives. And you've also designed a knife of your own.
Oh, yes, sir. About 5 years ago, it's the SCRB3. This is the original one. They've since then changed the logo to now just the SC logo, but this is the original camp lore, and it's also the original edge, and it's never put a drop of oil on it, and it's just been working hard ever since.
That's fantastic. And we've talked to Shane before. He loves those beater SEs.
Oh yeah,
and we've got a few of them ourselves that we've shown off. So what is it that you do? Tell us a little bit more about.
So I've been affiliated with the company on and off since about 2007. First met Jeff and Mike in the jungle in Peru as a student, and after a while they asked me to come back and help with some of the jungle courses. We started doing some stuff stateside. So on and off for about quite a few years now. It's just been, some helping, some instructing. I used to do the West Coast survival classes for the company, I want to say about 2012 to 14. And I travel so much. I'm always here and there, and I couldn't really commit to a whole lot of different dates. So I just kind of come in whenever I can, see everybody, go to the shows, just like to be a part of it. I'm still a student of the art, and I'm honored to be associated with these people. It's been a great ride.
Well, Reuben, I tell you what, your knowledge is incredible, and
Appreciate that.
I've thoroughly enjoyed learning from you. What kind of got you into this?
I would have to say my grandfather, we grew up in Southern California near the high elevation mountains, Big Bear, and elevation about 8,000 feet. Hiking up there is just great for lung capacity. I really got into long distance, high altitude backpacking. I have to say my grandfather got me to the outdoors, and I would say that went to the next level of, well, not just camping, but I want to do a little more. I want to do backpacking. I'm not in a car camp. Then I thought, I want to do this Grand Canyon place. I want to do all these high peaks. Sooner or later, I kind of ran out of some cool things to do. And I remember my cousin says, well, what are you going to do now? You just did the Grand Canyon, Mount Whitney. So I've always wanted to go to the jungle. And I remember this ad in Tactical Knives magazine. These guys were going to the jungle, and there's these snakes, and it's crazy. Reading these articles by this crazy guy named Jeff Randall. I want to do that. On the phone with Mike Perrin a couple days later, about a month later, we met in Peru, and it just kind of escalated from there, and it's been a great ride. Jeff helped me a lot, got me into the magazine world and photography world, and one thing led to another, and it's you're always learning, always traveling, and mixing with people like James and Patrick and Mike Perrin and Jeff Randall. It's just been an incredible ride, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, Reuben, thank you so much. I really appreciate you passing that knowledge on to us, because it's been fascinating. It's been very much a learning experience, and I love it. I really enjoy it. I know our viewers do. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for putting that knowledge out there. We really appreciate it. And folks, you need to check him out. Reuben Bolieu, his knowledge is incredible, and the things that he knows, just getting inside his mind is an amazing experience. Thank you so much, Reuben. Today I'm joined by the famous James Gibson. James, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Hey, thank you for having us. Yeah,
folks, we've gotten to spend the entire weekend with James and learn from James, because I'm here to tell you, as far as bushcrafting goes, this man is a wealth of knowledge, and he's also an incredible knife designer. And one of our most popular ones that we carry is by Essie, and it's that JG5, that James Gibson 5 right there. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about how you come up with that design?
Okay, this is what I call my modified Nesmuk. My first one was a 4-inch blade, and then the one for them was a 5-inch blade. And Nesmuk carried this knife and a pocket knife and the little Nesmuk axe, the little double axe everywhere he went. And this to me was I call it modified because my handle's different than his handle. The blade's real similar to that. And I think that he probably got one of the old buffalo hunters, like the old hickory buffalo hunters or Green River buffalo hunters knives, and changed it and modified it to suit him. I felt like he did. Plus he always carried his pocket knives too. So that was my inspiration. And like I said, it was a 4-inch blade to start with, and then of course 5 inches is real popular, and it's what they wanted there. So I just added the length to it to make it longer. But this knife, all of my knives start out on paper. I'll start drawing a knife, and I may spend a week drawing on this knife, just like I did the axe and all the other. The axe will actually probably about a month, you know. But I'll draw it, and I'll walk by and look at it, and I'll spin it around, and I'll race, and I'll draw more. Then I'll get a pattern that I like, and I think, well, this right here is it. And I'll go to the shop, and then I will make one out of wood and see how it feels my hand out. Then I'll go into forging a blade and do everything from there and make the knife, a prototype, and see how it handles. Then from there, if I feel like I need to change, I will change it. And I do a bunch of this. I call this a chipped handle because I'm a flint knapper too, work stone and rock. And it makes me think of a chipped arrowhead that I've chipped. So I call it that, and I've heard it called Rocky Mountain Tread and different things like that. And I know some people was critical at first of this handle. Oh, that's rough. But I always use a Scotch-Brite wheel, and I smoothed every bit of this thing. So it gives you a good grip when you hold this knife. It's not going to slip in your hand, and plus the little swell back here and the little kick down back here at the back, and your hand just fits in that thing, and it's not going anywhere.
It keeps it in solid.
It keeps it in solid, it sure does. So
I tell you what, that's one of my favorite things, and I love that chipped handle. And you're right, there are no hot spots, and it actually gives you, I feel like, several different ways to hold it too. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, that's fascinating to me, hearing how you come up with designs, how it starts out on paper.
They've always started off. Now, sometimes I'm done and I'm doing something that I done on paper, and I'll have a piece left. I'll go and just forge some kind of a blade out or something like that, or a tool. And I go ahead and utilize that too. And sometimes I've created that way, but most of the time, 90% of the time or more, it starts on paper.
That's fascinating. And then you take it from there, mm-hmm. and then you make it out of wood. You carve it out of wood first.
Well, I just use a bandsaw and stuff out of wood, or whatever I've got. I've done some plexiglass as well and stuff, because I want to feel, and because I want to change it up front before I go to all the trouble to forge one out or whatever. I do a lot of neck knives that are stock removal.
Right.
And I get them done quicker because I keep a lot of orders for these things anyway. But the bigger knives, I always make sure I make a pattern, then I handle it and feel of it and see if it's right, and then I'll go ahead and make it. Then I can still change from there.
Right.
And I can manipulate the knife that I've made, and then I can go back and make me another pattern. And then I draw a pattern on the forge if on my anvil if I'm forging it. I try to make it to that point. Of course, we all do some stock removal anyway, and profiling it and the grinding of the blade. You can forge it flat as you can, but you're going to be doing some filing or some grinding on it anyway.
That's fascinating to me, and that's what I think is fascinating to a lot of us that really love and enjoy these knives that you design, is getting to see where they come from, mm-hmm. the inspiration behind it, but also the process that you go through to get it, because that's absolutely awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And it's been an honor and a pleasure learning
It's
from
been
you.
a pleasure having you guys. As I said, told people earlier that we can't do this if y'all don't show up. We don't have nobody to teach. You know, so
you just ended up telling lies around the fire, ain't it right?
I think we have, about 28 students at this class here, so that's a good number, and we're always happy to have that and try to share what we know.
That's
Can't
awesome.
Take it with us.
Well, thank you so much, James.
Folks,
you definitely need to check out James's work. Also, check out all of our SE Knives and Randall's Adventure and Training. Check out their training classes. It is an absolute incredible experience that you will not want to miss. That's all for me. TC here with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, smkw.com. And remember, if it cuts, we carry it.